Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mitchell, and today I want to talk about how to break free from fear so you can start living the life that you deserve. This is my second time filming this video. The first one that I filmed for you guys, once I got to the end and I couldn't really think straight, I was like, yeah, I'm not really happy with how this video came out. I kind of want to refilm it for you guys because the idea of, okay, so let me reference a book first, and then this will kind of talk about the video. Okay, so there's a book that I have called The Untamed. Let me look it up, okay, because it's an awesome book. I think everybody should get to. So it's going to be The Untethered Soul, and there's a chapter in this book called Pain, the Price of Freedom. Basically, pain and fear in this chapter are the same thing. So he talks about the fear of rejection. So if you're a guy approaching a girl, for example, and I'll talk about that in a second to make sense of this, okay? But basically, pain and fear. If you're doing things to avoid being in pain, the pain in this case would be that uncomfortable feeling of approaching a girl that you don't know. If you're doing things to avoid feeling that way, you are living a life controlled by that pain and fear, okay? So, my nose is itchy. So let me talk about this so you guys can kind of understand this. And I'll use the example of approaching a girl, okay? He talks about the fear of rejection in this book. And the fear of rejection every human has, whether you're a boy or a girl, right? The fear of rejection basically stems down to a fear of abandonment, okay? So that's what it is. If you want to go up to somebody new and you want to get to talk to them and they don't like you, you're going to feel like you're losing something. That's a fear of abandonment, but in this case, it's the fear of rejection because they don't want to be with you. So you're still losing something. All right, I hope that made sense. Now, so you will do more to avoid pain than you will to gain pleasure. Okay? So if we're living in a life, if we're choosing to avoid pain rather than facing that pain to get what we want, can you see you're going to do things to not feel that uncomfortable feeling? So in this case then, if you want to approach a girl and you have all of these thoughts in your head that make you feel safer not talking to her because that makes you comfortable, okay? Because talking to her, it might be uncomfortable. She might not like you. You might not know what to say. It might be awkward. You can get rejected, or she might ignore you altogether, right? These things, you don't really know what's going to go, what's going to happen. So that uncertainty is going to make you uncomfortable. You're going to choose to not approach her. You know what? Maybe another time, or I don't know if now's a good time to talk to her. I don't really know what to say. You're going to overanalyze the situation, which is called analysis paralysis. Eventually what's going to happen is you are not going to approach that girl and she's going to walk away. Whereas the pleasure of if you approach that girl would be that she might end up really liking you. She might give you her phone number. She might want to go out on a date with you. You might go on a couple dates. You guys might start having sex, which is awesome. And then eventually she might end up being your girlfriend. But you're never going to know because you're choosing to live in your comfort zone and to avoid that pain. Therefore, you're letting pain control your life. So in the first video I filmed, I talk about reframing that. I think Corey Wayne might have mentioned this at one point in time. Basically, what we want to do here is we want to come up with reasons why not talking to this girl is more painful than talking to this girl, okay? So, okay, well, think about it. If I don't approach that girl, okay, if I want to talk to this girl, and if I don't talk to her, I am never going to know if she likes me. I'm never going to know if we're going to be friends, if she's going to give me her number, if she wants to go on a date with me. I'm never going to know if I'm going to have the opportunity to take her out on a date, have sex with her. I'm never going to know if she's going to want to date me. I'm never going to know if this girl wants anything to do with me if I just choose to sit here and be by myself. Do you see what I did? So now I'm saying, hey, it's going to cost me more in life being alone than it is if I just go up and say hi to her. And all you got to do is just go up and say, hey, excuse me, what's your name? I talked about a situation at the gym where there's a couple different girls that one was right here, one was right behind me. And I wanted to go and compliment this girl and then ask for this girl's name. And today at the gym, I looked at her, she saw me looking at her, I was staring at her, and she smiled at me, she smiled at me, I smiled at her. I could have done it then and there, and I didn't. I just sat with it because I was working out, she was working out, and I had all the opportunities to do it, but I chose not to. I do want to say that if you get to this point right here where I chose not to do anything, my excuse was because I was just too exhausted. I was at the end of my workout. I was there for an hour and a half. I originally felt good because when I first got to the gym, I went and complimented this girl, Brittany, that I know, super hot girl. I went up, I was like, this color looks so fucking hot on you, by the way, and then I rolled away. She goes, thank you. I was like, yeah, you're welcome. And I just left. That's all I did. I wasn't trying to start a conversation. And then I saw this other Brazilian girl that I know, and her and I just sat there and just started talking for like half an hour. And we could have kept talking. I was like, hey, I'm going to go work out. So I've already talked to two different girls, so that tells me that I could have talked to these two, but I didn't know these two. Not that I knew both of these girls, but I didn't know these two. But these two girls that I was talking to originally, I didn't know at first. So why was it harder to talk to these two girls that I didn't know? I can't tell you. But again, I can just say that your brain, let me try to justify it, okay? So there's a book that I have called The Owner's Manual of the Brain, 4th edition, and it tells you that you basically only have a certain amount of willpower that your brain can use each and every day. And as you can imagine, at the end of your workout, you're likely going to be extremely tired. So you're likely not going to make the best decisions. Now, had I saw those two girls before I started working out, this story might be different. It might be different because I would have had more energy. I would have been thinking more clearly then at that point in time. But they weren't there until the end of my workout. Okay? So if you miss an opportunity when it comes to talking to a girl, even if you just did what I said, it's going to hurt more to not talk to her. If you miss an opportunity, don't beat yourself up, okay? There's likely always going to be another girl at some point in time, and things are just going to naturally fall together, all right? So if you miss an opportunity, that's okay. And if you need help when it comes to approaching girls you don't know, and you don't know how to do it, or you need help, you need to, like a confidence booster, then work with me with coaching, and I'll teach you how I do it, and it works every single time, okay? So then, right there, so now that's the first way to do it is reframing. Remember, we want more negatives to not approach her than to actually, we want more bad things to happen if we do not talk to this girl than they would if we talk to her. The other way that works for me is when you get to that point where you're like thinking about approaching this girl and you know something's stopping you, but you don't know what it is, your brain is putting you in a survival state, okay? This is going to happen to everybody, whether you're aware of it or not. Your brain is producing cortisol, and that's fight, flight, or freeze. Okay, so if you don't approach this girl, you're choosing the freeze response, where it's safer to be by yourself than to talk to a fucking girl. And if you're a guy, if you're like a big dude that works out, what do you think this girl's going to beat you up? No. You probably care too much about what she thinks about you. So that's something I can say, because this girl behind me, she was so hot, and I've been wanting to meet her for a while. But I know that there will be another opportunity to do that, so I'm not going to beat myself up for it. But just know that subconsciously, if you might have like a fear of like, oh, again, like I care too much about what she thinks, but you don't even know her. That's why I'm saying we want to rewire how many negatives there are. Because if you just go up to a girl that, hey, fuck it, I don't know if she's going to like me or not unless I go up and approach her, I'm just going to go up and ask for her name. If you detach yourself from the outcome. So if you want to meet this girl, okay, so if you want to go up to this girl, okay, my goal is to meet this girl, get her name, and start talking to her. That's very simple to do, that's an outcome. Okay, and this girl might not want to talk to you, so that makes things difficult. So if you just say, fuck it, I'm going to go up and just say hi and see what happens. So if you says, you know what, fuck it, here we go. You roll up to this girl, hey, excuse me, what's your name? Lisa. Hey, Lisa, it's good to meet you. Oh, it's good to meet you too. What's your name? Oh, I'm Mitchell. There you go. What are you working out today, man? What are you working out to? You got a couple weights right now. Are you supersetting stuff or what's going on? Right? So you want to detach from the outcome. So when you say fuck it, so if you're like, I want to meet this girl, or I'm going to start this business, or I'm going to get on this sales call and I'm going to close this sale, or I'm going to, I don't know, I'm going to squat 315 today for the first time. That's an outcome. But you don't know if you're going to, you don't know if you're going to get that outcome or not. So by focusing on an end result, in some situations this can help, but in this situation where you don't know what's going to happen next, like when it comes to approaching a girl, you just say like, hey, I'm going to go up and meet this girl. Hey, excuse me, what's your name? Right? That's the best way to think about it, because that's a fuck it mentality. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if she's going to like me or not unless I go up and talk to her. So let's just go up and just introduce myself. Hey, what's your name? If you do that, it does make things easier, okay? But in the moment, okay, and the whole point of this video is to teach you ways to get over that fear so you can start living the life that you want. Because if you do not choose, if you choose to avoid feeling uncomfortable, you're going to live a comfortable life. And if you're not happy with your life right now, that's because you're not doing things to get out of your comfort zone to start living the life that you want to live. When it comes to approaching girls, I can tell you, man, it's really not that bad. Yes, there are going to be times like today where I didn't want to do it and I chose not to do it when I'm sure I could have mustered up a way to do it. But it's not the end of the world. There's always another girl, there's always another time and place where you're gonna be like, yeah, let's just do it. Okay, so a lot of your mentality at that point in time is going to determine what you do. But if you choose to keep running from your pain and keep stuffing those feelings down, you're never going to live a good life, at least not a life that you're happy of. You're never going to get the girlfriend you want if you just wait around and hope a girl comes to you one day. That's likely not going to happen. Now, does it happen? Of course it does. Of course it does. Girls will come up to you. Does it happen all the time? Not from my experience, but it has happened before. Some women do it, all right? You got to get out of your comfort zone. So hopefully this video kind of like, I gave you 2 different ways to do it. And I went in depth on how to do it. And again, if you need help getting over that barrier that's stopping you from doing something, then book a coaching call with me. And then we will talk about what your problem is, what's stopping you or what you think's stopping you. And then we'll work on an actual game plan on what you can do to go out and actually do this, all right? So I'm going to end the video there, guys. Hey, if you are a guy that is trying to get better at dating and relationships, I have a new book available for you. Click the link down below. It's going to take you to a page of the video that's going to explain why this dating book works so well and how it's going to help you, okay? This is everything that I've learned and I've done myself. Same thing with my coaching down below. If you want to work with me one-on-one, fast track your success, you're going to see a video, what kind of problems I help people with, why my coaching works so well, and then how I'm going to help you. And so you can start living a better life. With that being said, guys, hey, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and then I'll talk to you guys soon, all right?